Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make something which is not baking. It's going to be a porcini mushroom and pea risotto. And it's not using porcini mushrooms, it's using, I'm using chestnut mushrooms, but white mushrooms will be fine. But it has a porcini mushroom powder that goes into it. You can buy that quite easily available in many places. And that gives it that extra flavour. So it's actually quite a simple recipe, all done on the stove top. So I'll go straight on to the ingredients. And for this, I have 300 grams of sliced mushrooms. And as I said, I'm using chestnut mushrooms. That's 10.5 ounces. I have 200 grams of chopped onion. That's 7 ounces. I have 180 grams, 6.5 ounces of frozen peas, 140 grams, 5 ounces of arborio rice or a short grain rice. Then I have 10 grams of my porcini mushroom powder, 1 clove of garlic, 30 millilitres, 2 tablespoons of oil, and I'm using olive oil. I have 500 millilitres, 2 cups plus 4 teaspoons of a white wine vegetable stock. Now you can use any stock. If you don't have a white wine stock of some sort, you can use vegetable stock and add a little drop of white wine into it, or chicken stock and add a little drop of white wine. I'm using vegetable white wine stock simply to keep it vegetarian, basically. Then I also have 30 grams of grated parmesan, and 30 grams is just over 1 ounce basically. And I have salt and pepper, which I will taste it and season it to my taste. This amount is going to make 2 servings. I will also have some extra stock available just in case I need it, because we don't want the risotto to dry out. So that's all the ingredients, and the first thing I'm going to do is to fry off the onions until they're softened. And for that I'll put my 2 tablespoons of oil into a pan and heat that up. So I'm heating my oil up and on a sort of low to medium heat, and then I'm going to fry off the onions for about 5 minutes or so until they've softened. I don't want them to colour, but I want them to soften. And I can put them in as the oil heats up. That's not going to do any harm. So they're beginning to fry off, and I'll keep an eye on those, turning them from time to time, and cook them until they're softened. So I've let those onions sweat off and soften for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to add in my garlic. I may have forgotten to mention the garlic, but I have here 6 grams, and I'll put it onto the graphic in the video. I have 6 grams, which is about 1.5 teaspoons of chopped garlic. I'm just going to cook that off for 1 minute. And with that garlic cooked off, I'm going to sprinkle over my porcini mushroom powder and stir that through, and then add in, that gives off a wonderful flavour, aroma. Add in my mushrooms, and I'm going to cook those just for a couple of minutes, and they'll reduce just a little bit, but I still want them a reasonable size. And then I'm going to add my stock and my rice. Now usually with a risotto, you would fry off the rice in some oil or butter to coat it, and then you would gradually add the stock until it absorbs, and you add more and you add more. But in this instance, I'm going to add it all at the same time. And I'm going to bring that stock to the boil, and I'm going to add in my rice. And once that starts to simmer, I'm going to cover it and let it simmer until the liquid has been absorbed, and there's still some liquid left, but it's mainly been absorbed into the rice, and the rice will then be nice and tender. If I need to add more stock, as I said, I have some more stock ready to go in if I need it. And that's beginning to simmer around the edge. And it's just beginning to bubble in the centre as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover that and let it cook, and I'll stir it every few minutes, but I'm going to let it cook until most of that liquid has evaporated. So I've cooked that, stirring it from time to time, letting it simmer for about 16 minutes, and my rice is now quite tender, and as you can see, most of the liquid has been absorbed. I did add about 60 millilitres more stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in about half of my parmesan and stir that through. And I tested the seasoning, and it seems right for me as it is, so the stock was nicely seasoned. And then I'm going to add in my frozen peas. And I'm going to stir those through, and I'm going to cook those for a further 5 minutes. Again, covering the pot and giving them a little stir from time to time. So that's the porcini mushroom and pea risotto fully cooked. It looks lovely, and I've tasted it, as I said, and I don't need to put any seasoning in, but you can if you want to. So I'm going to serve that up, and then I'm going to put the remaining grated parmesan on the top. And as I said, this should do 2 good portions. It can do more if you want. It depends on the sort of appetite that you're trying to feed. So I'll portion that up, and then we'll have a taste of it. So there's the portion that I've served myself, and I've put my grated parmesan on the top. So I'll just have a taste of that now. I do have some vegetables to put round the side, but I'm showing it to you as it is. So I'll have a taste of this. That's very, very good indeed. Has a lovely earthy mushroom taste. The rice is lovely and tender. The sauce is perfect. The peas as well, and I love peas. And then that little bit of parmesan adds a another umami flavour to it. So this is a very simple recipe, but it's very, very tasty. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.